Eubank settles the score. Eubank gets revenge. Eubank here, like again, I became a Eubank fan last week.
Last week.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I became a Eubank fan last week. I liked him in the beginning. I was a Eubank fan in the beginning when, you know, I was like, oh my God, this is the son. And he's doing the face, he's doing, you know, the stuff that his dad does. All the cool stuff that his dad does when he avoids the shots and he just looks at people.
Shakes the
shoulder and stuff. He was doing all that stuff and I was excited. Then I kind of just gave up and lost hope. But then I watched the interview and he made me say, I respect you. Like, that's all I did. I went for that interview with respect, and then I was just willing. I wanted him to win, and I was getting angry. I was an angry person at home watching Liam Smith disrespect my man. That's what it felt like for me anyway. It's like, are you going to make excuses?
What's going to be your excuse now,
What's going to be your excuse? You know what I'm saying?
What's going to be your excuse now, Chris?
Literally, he's rinsing him. You could tell that the level of respect between the two of them, because he beat him, and I understand it. When he beat someone, you will talk differently. But I just felt like, I don't know if he took his eye off him or something, but Chris Eubank showed up. You know when he says that I'm only fighting the 60% or whatever, that it was all the percent.
That's hilarious.
He was full Eubank in that one. And it was a phenomenal performance from him that we haven't seen since Spike.
Yeah, no, I even say he outdid the Spike performance just in regards to how he looked and how composed he was, the venom in the necessary shots, knowing when to go, when to kind of just, you know, take it easy, take your foot off the pedal. But it's just, he looked a bit more educated, and it was nice to see him throw that left hook to the body, left hook to that body shot. For me, I'm like, I haven't seen you throw that before, but it's an effective punch that you've got in the locker now. That's a very good shot to have.
Good uppercut work as well.
Good uppercut work.
He's using that in the first one.
The thing is, he's always had that uppercut. But that left hook to the body, I said, okay, yeah, nice addition. I think for me, like, I feel good. You know, after that last pod we did, like, you could tell that we'd obviously rallied behind, you know, Junior to kind of get this one done. And I think for him to come through and pull through, and the stakes were very high. Like, I remember Johnny Nelson in The Gloves Are Off. He says to him, Chris, if you lose, are you going to retire? Next question. And he just held the because he knows.
But he knew. Let's be honest. If he lost this fight today, we're not talking about him in normal boxing.
The only thing that keeps him in the convo is Ben. If Ben still wants that fight, but if he loses that, it's bad, and he knows it. So the fact that the pressure was that high, and he rose to the occasion and delivered that performance and stayed that composed and didn't let it get to him, because you got to remember, like, the background of this. Your dad's been on a trashing your name tour, the charlatan thing.
And his dad actually said he'll never be a champion.
This is what I mean.
Champion. So there's a lot of stuff being said. I know the charlatan is the one of the biggest pieces, but he's been places and said stuff. We can't pretend that's the only place that his dad said things about him. But then again, he says his dad's grieving.
Yeah, no, he definitely has a different understanding of his dad, and that's what comes when you know somebody that well, to the point where you're like, I'm not gonna hold you to that because I know what's happening and I know how you're taking it. So it's fine. But I think from the outside, as in like us guys and everybody else, we're watching that thinking, I understand you're going through a bad time, bro, but you're dragging your son's name through the mud. I can't fathom my dad doing that to me or me doing that to my son. It's a sad thing to watch. Yeah. So for him to come through and get that win made me feel good. It was like watching a real-time film play out. I said, man.
The shush as well at the end. And you know what's lovely as well, because you could imagine his dad, as mad as he is, he enjoyed that.
Oh, of course.
His dad enjoyed that, because it's like he threw, even his like, I could imagine him speaking Pato when he's throwing the towels out the ring. His dad saying a madness that you wouldn't expect from Eubank, right?
You know, when he gets into it, Ayad. I can't even think of that right now.
No, but he's like, I really enjoyed that performance, man. And do you know what it was? He just sent a message, because I know a lot of people there was doubts, and I was one of the doubters as well. I said, there's no way he can learn everything he needs to learn from Bomac in that short space of time.
I thought we were gonna see a Amir Khan Kelbrook type situation where it's like, you know, Crawford and Bomac, and it all feels nice and it's gonna be different, and then it's like, it's just the same. But he came out with a certain type of venom and composure. I was like, wait a minute, you were listening in that camp, fam.
Not only listening, but then, you know, he said he changed his approach to fights in terms of, he said that, you know, running in the mornings and doing all this other stuff that he hasn't really done before, right? And you could, in terms of conditioning and just being able to throw enough punches and be busy, this is a busy version of him. I think we saw focused and busy with good punch output. Like this, usually sometimes it's like, man, he'll be good if he gets going. If he does what he does on the pads or what he does in his videos and stuff, if he brings that energy to a fight, we get a good fighter. And you saw some of that.
What I liked as well, yeah, because you got to remember, he's coming off a knockout loss, right? And he tried to rationalize it as many ways as he can. Elbowed. But it was a knockout. He didn't look like someone who was scared to get hit. Yeah. And that's what I thought was, okay, that's mental composure there. Because even there's times where he took a shot and it's almost like you saw him kind of do like a body check just to be like, I'm still good? Yep, I'm good. Let's go. And I'm like, okay, cool. That's how you rebuild your mental strength. Because, you know, when you start to look at fighters who've been hit and hurt, and you're like, right, okay, you can see you don't want that again.
No, and then that's what goes into the DNA of him though, because he's had to, when you listen to the story and the things he's had to go through in terms of when he talks about his family and the pressure of just the Eubank name, even if he's like, because he has there's still things to do. I'm not now going to say that this guy's a revelation and he's a generational fighter, not at all. But it's like he's had pressure his whole career, right? So then he's just as deluded enough in terms of how he feels about himself at times to bypass and say, because we said he's the only fighter that we know could take a knee and say, you got me this time. But next, yeah, you know what I mean? And calmly, he's the only one that we said would do that. And still, even in the gloves are off, I think Liam was like, Rod, how are you saying this to me? Considering what the last one looked like, but his mindset
it's just the way he's like, you didn't stop me. The referee stopped me.
And he's looking at him like, bro.
How can you possibly think that?
He's laughing. He can't believe it. But that's what I'm saying. That's the mindset of, it's like, he's like, you know what I mean? And it almost helps him. That all fighters need a scale of the deluded to carry them through. And he's got some of that in him. And I think every fighter needs that personally. Because that's what's going to carry you on when it gets hard or when you do take an L and you're asking yourself questions. You can't afford to ask yourself questions. He said, I can't afford to think about retirement. Solid.
And it's when people are like, you know, they said I wasn't serious. They said I wasn't this. There's too many girls. And he's like, listen, I'm not that guy. He's like, no, I lived this life. And I just find it funny because he's such a, like, if you know, we sat down with a Coley and we were like, you're like Deadpool. Like the type of superhero character. With him now, you say he's like, you see how vampires kind of keep a era of like, I'm still a gentle person. I'm still a classy individual. But then they tear into people's necks and drink their blood, fam. It's like, Eubank is 100% that type.
On vampire settings. Yeah. I was like, I'm not gonna lie. When you started this analogy, I was like,
where's he going?
I don't know where he's going still.
But you see what I mean now? Where he's like, no, I'm not that guy. I train, man. I live the life. It's like you go in there and it's smoke. So I'm like, you're that type of individual.
I think he's just a mad, like, again, someone that enjoys and gets off from the jeers and that kind of stuff is kind of, it's weird for me. But the only thing that, I saw Maestro in the chat saying that he hasn't called out anyone of worth, though.
That was something I did find interesting.
And I saw that in the chat and I said, you know what? That's the part that, because the names that he did, Conor Benn, I want to see that fight anyway. There's no way you can tell me. I was days away. I was a day away from watching that fight. Yes. Was it 2 days or a day?
No, it was the day, bro.
I was a day away from watching a fight that I was like, it shouldn't happen. It should. I can't. You know what I mean? There was so much dialogue. I desperately wanted to see it. Everything went to crap. Then somehow, at the end of the fight, all I was thinking about
was Conor Benn.
Conor Benn.
And he was there as well to make it really enhanced.
This is it. And I was shocked because I was saying, I thought this fight is over for me, but literally, we're ready for that fight. As a community, as a thing, it's I don't want to see it. Nope, you need to see it. And now we're ready to see it.
And you know what I kind of like about it in a weird way? Now there is a rivalry. Now they hate each other.
Yeah.
Now it's not a case of, you think you're going to beat me, don't you? Well, yeah, well, we'll see. It's like, it's not that.
And now they got their own storyline.
Yeah, it's like, bro, it's like, I think the juice is messing with his mental. Like, he's getting him on that one. He's like, bro, I wasn't impressed. Like, he's mashed up. You think someone's going to survive with me on a mashing up leg? You're having a laugh. And I'm like, hey, that's right. You man really don't like each other now.
Now it's there
not
because he's been the poster boy who, when he's in interviews and says, listen, I'm a clean fighter. There's a couple scumbags in the sport. Not me. Like, you know who he's directing his smoke towards him, because everyone can understand this is the fight. Like, Calla and Eddie Hearn must be so excited to think about this one now. Yeah, 100%. We took an L, we took a loss, but this time when we finally do it, it's gonna go crazy, and it has to be in the UK. They actually have to get. Well, they have to sort everything out.
Where things change.
Yeah.
And I don't want to segue too swiftly into the Bomac thing, yeah. But
no, we can't segue just yet.
Okay, cool.
We'll make our way there.
All I will say is, obviously, Conor Benn situation isn't like, we don't know where it stands in terms of UK jurisdiction if he can fight here, right? So we're saying that fight should happen in the UK, but now that with Bomac's situation. We don't know if he can. If he can come back here now, because we don't. It's pending if he's gonna do time or if he's gonna do whatever. Eubank might not fight in the UK anytime soon if that situation forbids him. Bear in mind, Chris Brown only just managed to get back into the country.
And a gun charge is crazy. That's a nasty charge for the UK. We ain't even going like that. A gun charge, like a gun charge in America, you say, what state?
First offense? No, bro. Guns here? Goodness gracious.
Yeah, you better be like one of those. Even our feds, for them to have that gun, they got a red card.
They got to sign it off.
A red city.
Yeah, you'll see them coming. You'll see
know
that
about them, man. It's different. Them man are, you know what I'm saying? That's a whole different.
That's a whole operation taking place.
It's a whole different type of fed. So just to let you understand that that's taken so seriously in this country that, damn.
It's nuts.
The ramifications. Actually, you know what? Let's go. Yo, people, thanks for watching the Undefeated podcast. Make sure you
like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, and all that good stuff, man. This is the place to be.